Hi everybody, Craig here. Welcome to episode 16 of my 1 vs 2 vs 2 Age of Wonders 3 playthrough series. In this series, I'm playing against two separate teams of 2 Emperor AI per team, and I'm playing as the Tigran Necromancer, Ramhotep Devilclaw. In our last episode, we really kind of brought the full weight of our undead horde down upon Karashar, and you can see here we managed to capture Karashar's city of Sithurix, and we've also again got now an army, multiple stacks of undead here you can see that are actually heading into the Shadow Realm, and that's because we also, in addition to doing some damage to Karashar, we got to see more of Sidrin, who again is our Shadow Elf opponent, and we now have eyes on a few more of his cities. So you can see he's got one here, and there's actually a Shadow Gate in the domain of this city. And then if we jump into the Shadow Realm, you can see that we now have eyes on at least 2 of his cities, so it's going to be very interesting to see if we can locate his throne city in the next turn or two and figure out exactly how strong Sidrin is. But in any case, before I dive into the episode, I did just want to give a couple of quick shoutouts to a few individuals who left some fantastic comments on the previous episode. The first of those comments is from Insert Username. Insert mentioned that I probably shouldn't leave my hero in the Shadow Realm, or I guess my leader, I should say, in the Shadow Realm when I flip my turn over. And that's because if you look at where Ramhotep is currently, yeah, he's got a very powerful stack here with multiple, Bone Dragons, a Manticore Rider, an Apparition, and a Wraith. The problem, though, is that currently he could get surrounded by enemy units that could basically just outnumber the stack and lead to an unfortunate defeat, which would put me back quite a bit as this is one of my powerful stacks. So what I could instead do is actually just enter the Shadow Realm, come back, and now if any of the units try to attack me and come through the Shadow Gate, it's going to have to be a 1 stack versus 1 stack. So this kind of just helps protect Ramhotep until the other stacks that are kind of moving in to reinforce him are able to get a little bit closer and actually get there. So really good suggestion from Insert. Thankfully, I hadn't ended my turn at the end of last episode, so I'm able to, again, bring Ramhotep back to the surface for now. The next comment here is from Nolan Cook. Nolan had the same comment regarding the danger of leaving Ramhotep in the Shadow Realm, so again, good catch from Insert and from Nolan. Nolan also mentioned that I had mentioned that in the last episode how terraforming and effects that change the terrain are maybe less useful as a Necromancer, and although that might be true from the perspective of the undead units that a Necromancer has, because again they're generally unaffected by terrain and most morale affecting influences. There is a point that Nolan made that I thought was actually quite brilliant, and that is that, yeah, it might not be useful for your units, but you can use it against your enemy units. So a good example would be if you're fighting against something like, say, Halflings. Halflings are very much dependent on their lucky effect, and the higher their morale, the more that's going to proc, which is obviously very annoying. And I'm just going to jump over and take a look here. So the item I was flipping around to try to find is this Cape of Rot, which is a mythical torso item that has Path of Decay, and this will turn any terrain into Blighted Wasteland as soon as Lux moves over it, once he has it equipped, of course. And that could be really useful against Halflings because, again, when the Halflings are fighting in blighted terrain, that makes them absolutely miserable, and that would basically reduce the risk of them landing critical hits and also getting lucky. So really, really good point there from Nolan. And again, that's kind of thinking outside the box. I hadn't even considered that. So excellent assessment. Nolan also mentioned that Sidrin looks pretty powerful. We did see that he already has access to the tier 4 unit. As a druid, he gets the Horned God. And then he also has some Shadow Elf, Umbral Weaver Charioteers, which is the tier 3 racial unit that the Shadow Elves get. So again, we know he's a tough customer. And he does seem to have some very big cities as well. Presumably because he's been kind of growing in the Shadow Realm relatively, uninhibited, or I guess I should say untouched by the other opponents. The next comment here is from Death. Death mentioned that I actually only have a few turns remaining on the seal victory, so I have 5 turns until I have enough seal charges. So just a good reminder there that if I do want to try and win the game via a aggressive, conquest victory, I am going to have to pick up the pace. Alternatively, I could move my unit off the seal charge, or the seal of Apotrepion that I own, in order to prolong the game that way if need be. So I'm going to view this as a challenge. I have to try to win in the next 5 turns. That's going to be my goal. If it doesn't happen, depending on what's going on, I'll probably move my stack off the seal and try to win it, a game by conquest, just because I think that's a little more exciting at this point in the game. And we've kind of talked about that already a few episodes ago. But I appreciate the reminder from Death. Death also mentioned that I'm now going to be fighting on 2 fronts, and that's because, as you can see, so we have, and I think this is a good way to kind of sum things up before we really dive in here. So we've got kind of a hodgepodge of units that are moving in on Karashar cities. So again, we don't know exactly where Karashar's throne city is, although presumably it's down here. You can see we've got this volcanic terrain. So almost certainly his throne is going to be somewhere down in this corner. I would be willing to almost bet money on it at this point. I mean, heck, this might be it right here once we get closer. But I've got a few, kind of miscellaneous units here. I've got a stack led by an ogre and a few other miscellaneous troops. And then I've got kind of just another group of hodgepodge troopers here all moving in. I do have Jafsar, who, again, is probably my most powerful hero, although Ramhotep's giving him a run for his money now, as Ramhotep's really picked up the pace. But Jafsar is definitely my most powerful hero, as, again, Ramhotep's the leader, so that's a bit of a different comparison. In any case, though, I have these units moving down to attack Karashar in the south, and then I also have Ramhotep and a group of other units here led by an Archon Revenant Titan, as well as my Sarcophagus of the Betrayed, which is still moving along. And, of course, they're all moving into the Shadow Realm to deal with Sidrin. So the danger, though, is that I did sort of bypass some of Sidrin's territory, in particular, like this little city, I'm leaving it alone, and instead I'm going through here. What could potentially happen is that Sidrin may manifest units out of this Shadow Gate and push into my terrain, so I do need to be careful that I'm not leaving a back door open and allowing myself to kind of get flanked. So really, really good strategic advice there from Death, just to be very careful. I am going headhunting, I'm looking for the Throne City, but I need to be careful when I do that, because if you get too aggressive, you might leave holes as you advance. So good, really good point there. And then finally, just a quick comment from Gladden. I had mentioned last episode I was, in looking to add a support unit into this stack because I needed to heal up my undead units. Thankfully, though, I actually do have a support unit right here. And again, Gladden, with his eagle eye, pointed out that this Nomad Chieftain is actually a mounted support unit, kind of a unique unit that is part of the Nomad race, which is very, very cool. So, again, this is a mounted support unit you can see here that has Throw Fire Plague, Oil Bolt, and then, of course, Heal Undead, thanks to my Healers of the Dead. So I'm in good shape there. I actually already have a healer to support this stack, so I don't need to worry too much. All right, so with that, a big thank you to everybody for the fantastic comments. As always, extremely appreciated. Very, very useful insight and advice. And we're going to jump in because, again, I want to get this going. So let's end our turn. Thankfully, again, Ramhotep is now back on the surface. So again, the big trick here is going to be keeping an eye on... Oh, and look at this. Yeah, there's that Umbral Weaver Charioteer right here. Tier 3 Shadow Elf support unit that has some very interesting abilities. Ooh, and unfortunately, our poor little scout is coming under attack from some units coming out of the Shadow Realm there, so RIP our poor scout. But the scout did its job, and we were able to find a lot of things in this bottom corner. Just make sure there was nothing kind of hiding down there that was going to cause us problems. Okay, a seal victory is imminent, so it's warning me I've got 4 turns left. So an item has arrived. Oh, excellent. This is Jata's Rags. So this is some torso gear for Sheila, and she's now wearing it, so that's great. She's got 40% blight protection, extra defense and hit points, so just making her much more tanky, which I really like. Now, I was originally sending these units down to go into the Shadow Realm here, but I think I'm actually going to divert Sheila, at the very least, over this way. So let's grab this, and then we can keep moving this direction along the road. Yeah, there we go. And now we can start sweeping in to kind of provide some assistance over here with Karashar. So you can see that Karashar actually has some units defending the city. Nothing crazy, but does have a hero, a Draconian Theocrat, as well as a Draconian Apprentice, and then a handful of other units here, a mix of sort of Tier 1 and Tier 2. So this definitely won't be a pushover to clear out, especially I think the city has a wall. Yeah, it looks like it has a wooden wall there. So we're going to have our work cut out for us, and we will have to, make sure we're careful in how we clear it out. Meanwhile, we're going to send Leandra down to reclaim our city here that was captured by Karashar. This shouldn't be too difficult for us here. All right. So this is our Frostling city that became now a Draconian city, I guess. It's a shame because we had taken the time to absorb this city, and now we're going to have to probably do that again. All right, so Leandra's only healing ability is the Nourishing Meals, so why don't we figure out who we want to... Probably onto our Mummy, I think. Yeah, there we go. Meanwhile, our Ice Queen can advance. Again, we want to spread out because the Draconian Apprentice has that Firebomb, so try not to get hit by that if we can avoid it. Okay, there we go. Oh, and there's also a Draconian Flamer that has the same ability as well. Now let's jump our Banshee in, and I think our Whale of Despair... Ooh, unfortunately not quite enough range there. So, one thing we can do is move our Ice Queen in. Cadaver's kind of in rough shape, unfortunately, so may need to either retreat back or kind of just accept that the Cadaver's probably going to go down. I think we'll pull back. Meanwhile, Leandra can advance here. And we'll just hang out. The Ice Queen can advance up like this. Mummy's already done its thing. And this one can advance as well. Get a little bit closer. So we're going to take some punishment here. Now, thankfully, we can handle it. No problem. So that's going to give us now a chance to get in there and start putting the hurt on these units. Okay, and it resisted our abilities, which is a shame. I was hoping to get maybe like an Enabling Fever there just to make our life a little easier. Alright, well, let's try for some projectile damage at least. And then we can use our Banshee as well to get in there, do some damage. Mummy can advance, and most importantly here, we can get our Ice Queen involved and probably just kill the Flamer. Yeah, there we go. Although, in retrospect, I probably should have attacked the Apprentice, because now we're going to take fire bolts there. Yeah, that's going to hurt. So, maybe not my brightest maneuver. Yep, here it is. Ouch! Oh, jeez, and that almost cost me my... Because of that critical, we almost lost our Ice Queen. Yeah, that was almost a devastating mistake for me there. Yikes. Alright, well, we're going to retreat back. Drop a heal. Yeah, that was costly. Meanwhile, Leandra... We can send our Mummy in and just tie up the Apprentice here with some damage. Oh, I don't think they're going to have enough... Well, they could step off and hit us once, but it's not going to be enough to really kill us or do anything too crazy. Meanwhile, over here, we can kill off the Raptor. And you know what? Leandra can step up, throw that, and blast with the gun. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, bit of a costly mistake on my part. Thankfully, we didn't lose anybody, but we did take more damage than I had hoped. Okay, excellent. So now we have control of the city. We can migrate it over to Ghoul Tigrans. Alright. Maybe we had migrated it over to Ghoul Tigrans before. I honestly can't remember. Yeah, that's probably what we did now that I think about it. Alright, so then let's... You know what? Let's maybe head into the Shadow Realm since we're over here. Oh, and I forgot about this. There's a haunted boneyard threatening the city. But really, at this point, that's not really our concern at the moment. So we'll regroup and we'll probably just head into the Shadow Realm. We did get a nice level up here with Leandra. Now, we could give her healing, but that's not really going to do much for her, given that all of our units are undead. So, natural immunity, again, not super valuable, given that all of our units are undead. We do have pretty good amount of casting points, so we could just keep focusing on that. Alternatively, we could make Leandra a little bit stronger. That's not a terrible idea. I don't hate that. Give her some extra hit points at least. And you know what? I think we'll save the rest of the points because I think regrowth is coming up next. So we'll save those. We're going to ignore that join offer. Nice. We have logistics done. Advanced logistics. It's going to make us move faster on the roads. That's going to help. Just with our mobility. You know what? Let's keep going down this river here. Okay, and there's another one of Karashar's cities. Wow, okay, so Karashar actually has a decent amount of cities here. Let's see if we can figure out if this is his throne. Yes, there it is. Okay, excellent. So we have our target. So we're going to head there as soon as we can. Now, the big question is, do we want to maybe take a detour in and try to clear out this city? I mean, I think probably... Oh, yeah, that advanced logistics is going to pay dividends there, because look at that. We can get right in there. And let's step over, and you know what? We can engage this battle here. You know what? Maybe we'll abort the attack. Just to make sure we have enough here to defend. Let's move over like this. Or I should say not defend, but just get everybody involved. You know what? We'll do it in auto combat. Okay, good. And we didn't lose anybody. That was what I was worried about. Perfect. And then we will just keep moving along the road with this stack. We can get right up in there. You know what? I might even try and Ghoul Curse the hero if I can. And this little Lost Soul can get involved. Can even initiate the battle. Alright, so I'm going to see. Maybe I can Ghoul Curse that Theocrat. It would be nice to have another hero to help lead some of these stacks. Okay, looks like we took a fireball out there. Alright, so let's think about how we want to do this. So our Poltergeist can get over the wall. Otherwise, our Flayer can climb the wall. Our Deathbringer can shadow step over, so that's probably going to be our main priority. In addition to getting our Flayer up on the wall. Poltergeist, I think, can just kind of hover over the wall with floating, if I'm not mistaken. The Mystic, we can always use Werepanther if need be. We also have Phase, which... You know what? Let's use that. Once we're able to get in there a little bit better. Alright, our Ogre's in rough shape. Again, that Fireball killed off our Lost Soul, which is totally fine. Our Raptor can charge in. Get our Apprentice up in there. Oh, and you know what? I should have probably thrown Dragon Ancestry onto the Raptor. But let's see if maybe we can do that next turn. This Lost Soul will just charge right in. Coil Occultist can move up to support the rest of our units. The Ogre's in kind of rough shape, so we will have to be a little bit cautious. Alright. Excellent. Okay, so our Halfling's taking a bit of a beating. Ouch. Yeah, I shouldn't have grouped up like that. That was a mistake. Again, we do have the numbers here, so we should be alright, but no sense making mistakes if you don't have to. Now, if we teleport up in here, we could immediately go into Werepanther mode and start attacking. My only concern is that's going to put us in a potentially precarious situation. So perhaps what we do... Now, here's something we could do. We can advance over, do this. And there's some nice damage. Alright, and then we can get up on the wall with our Flare. Don't think our Deathbringer, unfortunately, is going to be able to get close enough to Shadow Step in. No. So now, here's the big question. Do we want to jump in with our Mystic? The only problem there is our Mystic's going to be kind of on its own. Again, we could go like this and then use Werepanther. it's a little risky. It really does leave our Mystic exposed quite a bit. And the Poltergeist can get in over the wall as well. Let's see. So, well, you know what? I'm going to give it a shot. I mean, it's risky, but I think it's worth trying. All right, there we go. Were-Panther. And then you know what? We can use Pounce. And then hopefully we land right there and we tie up both units. That would be ideal. Shoot, and we went there. I was hoping we'd land right there. That's all right. We can start attacking the gate at least. Thankfully it's wooden, so they're way less health, which is good. Okay, we can jump over, buff our raptor, charge in for the gate, do some hefty damage. Very good. And then our apprentice now, even though it's draconians, we can still do some damage. Nice, pretty good there, actually. You know what? Let's get our berserker out of there. No sense in risking the berserker. And we'll put the poltergeist up there. I know this is putting them at a spot where maybe the apprentice is going to firebomb them, but I think it'll be fine. Okay. Ouch. Well, there go my poor apprentices. My raptors are taking a bit of a beating as well. Okay, so now the raptor's about to die, which isn't good. Now over here, the big beetle has stepped out to fight the hellhound. Now the good news is, oil occultist can step up and help out quite a bit here, or just drop a heal, one way or the other. I think it's probably better to do some damage. There we go. And then yeah, let's follow that up with some hits here, maybe. Alternatively, you know what? Our poltergeist could step in behind and do some work. Meanwhile, our panther can kill off the flamer. Yeah, and then I think what we'll do is we'll go like this. Turn that big beetle around. Get the kill there. And then these guys can step up. Kill off the apprentice. Get some lifesteal back. Perfect. Kind of a win-win. Now, the question with the raptor is, do we want to... You know, I mean, if we attack the gate, we're almost certainly going to lose the raptor. You know, is that the end of the world? No, but you don't necessarily need to lose the unit if we don't have to. So, I'm actually going to pull back, I think. And then the Elder can advance just enough to, you know, do a little bit of soften him up damage. Not that that's going to make much of a difference, but... Alright, so then our Deathbringer, who again is going to be the star of the show in many respects, we're going to advance in. Oh, and I should have got my Elder out of there. Ah, that was kind of a bad move on my part. Again, I am getting a little sloppy here as things are kind of winding down, so definitely something to try to avoid. Drop a heal. Poltergeist is, again, a little worse for wear. But I think what we'll do with the Poltergeist is we'll heal our player. Gonna have to get in there. Now, our Panther can get all the way in and attack the Elder, so why don't we just do that? That nice flank shot. And then our Deathbringer can advance over as well. Everybody over here, I think we're just going to keep back because they're really not in great shape, so... I think that's going to about do it for our turn, honestly. Just double check that we've done what we needed to. Yeah. Alright. Again, the trick is going to be to try and get a Ghoul Curse maybe to recoup some... Oh my god! Oh, no! Oh man, I wasn't anticipating that much damage being done to my poor Mystic there, so... Yikes, we basically just lost our really powerful Mystic. That's a real shame. Okay, so now we got to figure out what to do with our Deathbringer and be very careful. This battle was a bit of a disaster for me, actually. I mean, again, in the end, it's not going to make too big of a difference, but... Okay, we got a 50% chance to Ghoul Curse. Let's try it. Nice, okay, we got the Ghoul Curse, so at least we're going to hopefully get a hero out of this, which is... Maybe at least something. The danger now, though, is that we might lose that Deathbringer. I'm going to move the Ogre up just to at least try and entice them into Something. Oh, man. Yeah, okay. I really hope I don't lose the Deathbringer now. Oh, no. Yeah, it's that armor piercing. Okay, thank goodness. The Deathbringer's still alive. You know, I underestimated these Huracan here, but you can see that at elite rank they get armor piercing, which is just devastating. That's part of what did so much damage to my Deathbringer there. Okay, so it would be great to try to actually convert the Elder and get a Ghoul Curse there, but I kind of need to kill the Huracan, so... Oh, this isn't great. Okay, well, we definitely know we need to kill the Elder, so... Let's go over there and do that. There we go. And our Hellhound can advance. Oh, now that... Yeah, I think we're just going to put the Deathbringer there. I'm just a little bit concerned about... Yeah, and they have a high morale. I don't think we can really run away, though. I think we're going to have to do this. You know what? Maybe what we'll do is we'll go in defense mode there. Oh, and you know what? We can hit them for some damage at least. There we go. Actually, now we got a flank shot. Does a lot more damage. Oh, yeah, and we got the Ghoul Curse as well. And a little bit of life steal is not so bad. Okay. We should be fine now. Perfect. Yeah, boy, though, that armor piercing really, really hurt. So, yeah, we lost more units than I wanted. We lost the Elder, the Apprentice, and the Mystic, which is kind of a shame. We lost a ton of good healers. The Mystic, in particular, was very strong. It was a real shame to lose that. But we have the city, and importantly, we got ourselves a Draconian Theocrat hero who is now on our side, which is going to be helpful. City awaits its fate. Well, we're migrating it over. Okay, so again, we've got, you know, kind of a mix now of what's going on with all these units. So we should probably figure out how to... What I'm thinking is we probably add the hero into the stack here that's got the Deathbringer, just to kind of improve the Deathbringer's capabilities. Although... You know, it wouldn't be bad to maybe turn some of these units into ghouls, like this Ogre, Raptor. So, you know what? Maybe even just for this turn, we'll park them in there. And then, again, we want to regroup here. So, it'd be nice to get a healer into this stack if we can. We've got... Well, we've got the Outlaw Oil Occultist, who's a healer. And we've also got the Poltergeist. So, we have to divvy those up, potentially, to give a healer to this stack. Alternatively, we could take the Reanimator out of our stack here and add them in. Again, options and decisions there have to be made. Okay. We can also summon this Banshee somewhere as well. Okay. And I almost forgot about Jafsar. So, Jafsar we're going to send straight down for the throne. And we're going to send... these two miscellaneous units along with, just to help Jafsar out a bit. We have our Builder, who we were just kind of advancing as best we could. So I guess we'll just keep doing that. We'll go through the mountains here. Yep, that's going to do it there. Now, okay, here's Ramhotep. So now we can jump into the Shadow Realm. Because we know we're going to have backup at the very least. The one thing we don't know, however, is which one is potentially the throne. So what I'm going to... Oh, and look at this. Okay, we've got some armies here coming out to meet us. So that's important to notice. And now, is this the throne? No, it's not. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to summon this Banshee, send it north to find out. Okay, this is just a regular city, so neither of these are the throne city. Wow. Yeah, so he's extremely powerful if he's got these massive cities. Well, now that really leaves me questioning where the heck is his throne. I think I'm going to head down and engage these units, though. That's for sure. So let's step down. And we want to get our other units in to help us if possible. Okay, we are going to be able to at least get into range there to assist, which is great. Oh, and look at that. There's Sidrin himself. Okay, this is a golden opportunity. You know what? Maybe we just go 1v1 Sidrin here. I mean, he does have some powerful tier 3s and a couple of tier 2s, but, I mean, we're pretty darn strong ourselves. I think we can handle this. So let's move over and just 1v1 him if we can here. Unfortunately, now this unit's in a bit of a pickle. I don't think this stack's going to be able to help, but I mean, this is too good an opportunity not to try it. So we're going to do this. Let's do it manually and see if we can send Sidrin back to the void for a couple of turns while we figure out where his throne city is. Okay, so we awakened a bunch of his animal units, which is kind of what we expect. All right. So why don't we just do a bit of work here with our breath attack. Or not quite. What if we go like this? That's not bad, and we're kind of in a better spot there. And it's not like this is doing a ton of damage or anything, but not the end of the world. Maybe a step over one like this. Yeah, there we go. Perfect, okay. Meanwhile, our apparition can advance. Wraith is going to be more for healing. And I suppose one thing we could try with Ramhotep is an insta-death. Do have to get somewhat close. I don't want to put him in too much risk. Only a 20% odds. You know what? I think I'm actually going to keep Ramhotep back. I just don't want him in unnecessary risk here. So instead, I'm going to arc back like this. And then just do a Spirit Ray, I guess. And we'll go like that just for some guarding. Okay, now let's see what happens next. Nice, we got lucky and avoided that web. Oh, they petrified my bone dragon. Shoot. Oh, and they tried to entangle my other dragon. Okay, we panicked one of their units, which is great. Now the apparition can step over and flank the shadow elf there. Okay, now this unit's out of commission, so meanwhile over here we should probably just deal with the shaman, so let's do that. That shaman is panicked. Alright, now the Manticore Rider here. I was going to say, one thing we can also try is to maybe get some ghoul cursing in, maybe to grab this Vampire Spider Queen, or alternatively to go for grab that shaman. Only a 30% chance to ghoul curse the shaman, unfortunately. Whereas, a little bit higher chance to grab the Spider Queen. That said, I'm going to have to put myself in risk to do it, so maybe we'll just kill the Spider Queen here. There we go. And then now our Wraith can move in. Put some hurt on them. Let's see. Flank Sidrin, actually. That's not bad. Let's do that. Yeah, there we go. And then one thing we could do, actually, is grab a Cadaver. Just to give us a little bit of extra fighting force here. Nice. Okay, we're making units run away. That's actually really helpful. Ouch. Ooh, and look at that. We panicked Sidrin, so that's going to make things a heck of a lot easier for us. Now, I was going to say, do we want any of these units potentially? Maybe the shaman. So what we'll do here is we'll fly over. We will shadow step right in behind. Do a flank, and of course immune to Ghoul Curse. Not really unexpected, but we can fly over like this. It's not really going to get the kill, so let's just kill the shaman here. There we go. While the Manticore Rider... Actually, the Wraith can go in and put some hurt on these units here, so let's do that. There we go. And then between the rest of our units here, we should be able to finish off Sidrin. So we can go like this, like that, and then we can get the kill with the... Oh, not quite. We can't actually get the kill with the Cadavers. That's too bad. Oh, we'll be close anyway. And the apparition Okay, there he goes. Off to the void with him. There we go. Panicked yet another unit. So we could fly on down just to drop a nice big heal on our Bone Dragon, who has taken an absolute beating in this battle. Wouldn't be the worst idea. Might as well drop a heal on Ramhotep. And yeah, let's fly over, kill that unit. Ramhotep can fly on down, heal our Bone Dragon. And then our Apparition could use some experience, so then let's get the kill there. Perfect. Yeah, and just like that, we didn't lose anybody. And we sent Sidrin off to the Void, which is going to help us out, I think. And we should be able to, yep, we can get back to still help with this battle. So, all in all, that went pretty darn well. There we go. Okay. Now we just need someone to engage the battle. Yeah, the only unit that's kind of in rough shape is our one Bone Dragon. Thankfully, we have pretty good healing capability to take care of that. And we don't have to worry so much about spells now because we've sent Sidrin into the Void. You can see, though, it was dangerous to leave Ramhotep alone in the Shadow Realm there, because let's say those units had been a little closer. They could have ambushed, and I could have had 2 or 3 enemy stacks all at once attacking. And all it would have taken is my Bone Dragons get petrified or entangled, like we saw almost happen to both of them. And I could have been in a really, really bad spot. So I'm very glad that that worked out the way it did. And again, that was great advice. Alright, so we're going to drop a blast there. Going to step over and heal up our Bone Dragon a little bit. Meanwhile, this one can do pretty much the same thing. Nice kill there. And then, you know what? Let's just cruise on up and kill that Dusk Adder. Apparition can advance. Now, meanwhile, this stack over here don't really have any ranged attacks per se. Although we do have our Weakening Breath, I suppose, which we can use. So let's do that. Nice, we killed off that Lightning Sprite. So that Storm Priest now is the next target. Our Ghost really got beat up, so we're going to just leave the Ghost in back, I think. Ramhotep, might as well drop a heal on our Bone Dragon as well. And we can end our turn there. Okay, tried to entangle my Manticore Rider. Nice, that Apparition really holding its own. Alright, we got 45% chance to Ghoul Curse, so... sure, why not? Shaman only a 35% chance. Alright, well, Apparition can go 1v1 with the Bear. No real problem there. The Wraith... Again, what are our odds with the Serpent here? 45%. Yeah, I don't mind those odds. You know what? We'll just Shadow Step in behind here. Nice, and we got it. That's perfect. Okay. And there's the kill. Now both our dragons are freed up here, which is exactly what we need. Big damage on the Shaman. There's the kill on the Shaman. Messing up that Trebuchet. We also have Zombification here. Turns a nearby non-undead deceased humanoid into a zombie. I want to try that at some point on one of these enemy units here if I can. There's some big damage. Ooh, and you know what? We can flank the Trebuchet. There we go. There we go. You know what? Let's try it here. We've got it. Nice. We can make zombies. That's so cool. And then the zombies can do the same. Turn a nearby non-undead deceased humanoid into a zombie. Oh, you could create like a whole army like as a big chain reaction. And the zombies have undying. That's so cool. Oh my goodness. I really like that. So that they are decaying, which means that just like the cadaver, they lose health every turn. That's important to remember. They have inflict enabling fever. They're considered irregular. Projectile resistance. They're bloodthirsty. Oh, that is so neat. They also have inflict enabling fever. I think I mentioned that, and that undying is super powerful. That's so cool. I really like that. And I guess what do they get as they level up here? Inflict bleeding wounds and inflict enabling fever. Okay, yeah, that's pretty good. Very, very cool. Alright, that should do it. And then our ghost is still in rough shape, so we're going to hide back there. Okay, summoning the lightning sprites. Our apparition putting in the work over there. So, let's see. Well, our fire spirit can get around behind in there and do some flanking damage. That's not so bad. Where's Ramhotep? Can he get in there? He could. Yeah, we can try for a ghoul curse. Let's try it. Nice, and we got it. That's perfect. And we can drop a heal on Ramhotep. Sure, why not? One thing we can do as well is we can do this. Boom. Easy peasy. Yeah, so all of our units are intact, and we got ourselves a brand new zombie as well as some ghoul curses there, which is excellent. And there's a shaman all by himself. Probably not feeling so good right now, given that we just decimated all the units around there. Alright, so we'll regroup. And yeah, that really does a pretty nasty blow to Sidrin. We still don't know where his throne is, but now he's in such bad shape because we've taken out his leader. We've taken out a big chunk of his army. This city's very poorly defended. I suppose it's got 3 shamans. That's actually not too bad. But yeah, we're in really, really good shape here. So when this army comes through, we can send them north to that other city, I think. In the meantime here, let's start summoning maybe a lost soul just for another scout. Because now we need to really figure out where his throne city is. So anyway, things are going really well in the Shadow Realm, as we saw. What else do we have going on? So... okay, so yeah, we're hiding out in the water. Kind of done everything over here. Right, we have this stack that we're just using to kind of explore at the moment. You know what? We could try and recoup some casting points here. Sure, why not? It's a good idea. We'll just do auto combat. Excellent. There's some casting points, and nice. We can summon our lost soul right now. Ooh, Sarcoculus, which is the spirit and shock damage version of the Watcher, I guess. Total awareness, inflict brain rot. Yeah, mind pierce. That's pretty cool. Spirit and shock damage. Very, very cool. We should be able to win this battle, I hope. Do it manually just to make sure, but... Alright, so we get to see our Queen of the Lost in action. I really, really do quite like this unit. Let's try and curse that Sarcoculus. No such luck. Okay. We'll bestow Iron Heart onto the Queen of the Lost. For that extra defense and resistance there. There's that Mind Pierce. Alright. Who do we want to hit first? We can actually do pretty good damage to this Watchling. Yeah, that's looking pretty good. Let's do that. Very good. And then our Mummy can jump in. However, before we do that, maybe we do a Spirit Blast here. Just soften him up a little bit. And I'm sending the Mummy in almost sacrificially because we can revive the Mummy using our Reanimator if need be. And then let's blast the Shock Serpent for some damage. Nice, and a level up for our hero. Nice. Okay, so yeah, the mummy doing its job. Oh, and I forgot. We can't... When the mummy dies, I don't think we can bring it back. Maybe we can, though. That void explosion happened. Oh, that's so cool. I didn't realize that. See, normally when a unit explodes like that, it doesn't leave a corpse behind. But in this case, it did. And so we actually can revive the unit like that. Yeah, and there we go. Now we've got our mummy right back, even though the void explosion happened. Well, this was the... I can't remember. It was a number of episodes back, but... someone had left a comment that the mummies were a really, really strong tier 2 unit. The only downside was this void explosion that they have when they die. And that's one of their upgrades that they get as they level up. That bloated with gas is the effect there. It will explode when it dies. And again, that was the only knock against them, is that, oh, well, that means that you won't be able to revive them, because, you know, now they're going to just have exploded and not leave a corpse, which kind of, you know, is not good for an undead unit. But, I mean, again, that means that they still leave a corpse, so they're even more powerful than we already thought they were, which is excellent. Anyway, enough of me gushing about how good they are, but yeah, that's really exciting to figure that out. And I, you know, maybe I shouldn't have revived them just yet, because now I'm going to have a bit of trouble here keeping them alive, actually. So we've still got to deal with what's going on here. All right, let's do this, and then flank in behind here and get the... Oh, and we didn't get the kill. Okay, but we can do... Oh, man, now we're stunned. This thing's got free hits on us. Oh, we survived. Barely, but we survived. Thank goodness. Okay, we'll jump in behind here. Ooh, but of course we can't get away because it's got total awareness, so we're just going to have to hope that we're able to mount enough damage here. Okay, there we go. And then, yeah, we're just going to have to charge in here, I think. Okay, and then we can probably get the kill. Excellent. Okay, and we didn't lose anybody. Thank goodness. Oof. We were really close to death, though. Only 4 health. In fact, that lifesteal, I think, is what saved us there. Because of that static shield, we took damage, but we survived. So... very, very nice. And we learned something really important about the mummy, which is that bloated with gas effect doesn't actually mean that it doesn't leave a corpse behind. So that's perfect. Yeah, those mummies, that's one of my new favorite units now as a Necromancer. Absolutely. Very, very good. So we have a level up here. Again, most of these abilities are really not useful for my undead troops here. So instead, I think we'll just go with... divine channeling. We could also get at level 7, I think we get access to convert, so that's something to keep in mind. So let's do divine channeling. Just more casting points. And then, yeah, that's going to about do it for up there. Underground, I think we had a little army that we were sending over here to clear out this goblin-held city. Ooh, and we lost most of them, but we kept 1 and 1. So again, I wanted to just do that in auto combat for speed's sake. But had I done it manually, hopefully we wouldn't have lost so many units. But that's fine. That's all we needed. We just wanted to take control of that city. In this group, we were just kind of sending up this way. See what they could find. Little scout over here, just doing some additional surveying for us. Meanwhile, we have our big beetle over here who's kind of running out of places to dig, but I'm sure we can find more places to dig. There we go. Okay. So now we can summon another scout, and I think probably in the Shadow Realm is where we're going to want to do it. Because, again, we still need to figure out where the heck his throne city is. Because, again, this one isn't the throne, that one isn't the throne. Where the heck is it? That's the next big question. Well, let's head over this way and see what we can... Okay, there we go. There's another city area. So let's check that one out. And we'll start summoning another one, because again, we just want to have as many scouts as possible. Nice, and we have some saved up knowledge here that we can spend. So, I honestly, getting more casting points wouldn't be so bad. Greater Disjunction, just in case they try to throw anything on us at this point. Rugged Pioneers would help our builder get through that, the mountain range that he's currently in. But really, that's not that important to me. It's a shame we don't have a little bit more, because then we could get Greater Disjunction in one turn rather than two. You know what? Let's grab Death Ray and Seed of Distrust and Raise Dead. We'll try and grab that just to have it. Just kind of start knocking things out. All right, we'll do production. Again, most cities we're just going to do merchandise, even though we've got plenty of gold at this point. There's no sense in getting too reckless with it at this stage. Here's for... Yeah, we really don't need to worry about production, I think. We've been generating our forces almost entirely using Ghoul Curse, which, again, is sort of par for the course for me. I always try to do that as best I can. We'll throw up an Embalmer's Guild there, just in case we need to produce any units. Always nice to have. Yeah, and our throne's in good shape. Just move over that way. I think we're good. Now we're just finalizing all of our movement here. This unit can stay put, and that's going to do it for our turn. So now, let's see what Sidrin does in response here, because I imagine... Ooh, yep, going after my scout. That's fine. Not entirely unexpected. Again, the big trick there was just finding out if that's the throne or not. You can see, though, Sidrin really does... If I'd have let him build up any more, I mean, he would have been able to mass some pretty hefty units against me. Okay, so yeah, we're only 3 turns away from winning now via the seals. We finished Monoculture. We're the first player with 8 cities of the same race. We get a group of units from that race. Oh, nice. 3 Ghoul Tigran Sphinxes. That's excellent. We can definitely use those. Cape of Rot has arrived. That's great. Our new hero, our Draconian Theocrat that we were able to Ghoul Curse, has leveled up. You know what? Let's just do Bestow Iron Heart, because that... Or actually, maybe Aura of Resistance. Yeah, that's probably a better choice. Yeah, and then we've got a whole bunch of cities that we've migrated over. Now, Sidrin won a battle over here, so maybe his throne city is more in the center. I mean, who knows? Let's check it out over here. This one's smaller, so that's definitely not it. All right, we'll just keep cruising this direction and see what else we can come across. Yeah, I'm starting to think his throne must be over here, maybe in the center. I mean, this isn't it. This is a city you can see is currently being captured or something like that. So, yeah, we really got to figure out where the heck it is. In the meantime, though, we'll keep working on what we've got our eyes on. So, this stack can move on through and head up this way. So, again, they're going to go and capture that city. And then Ramhotep can head straight down here. Yeah, we can get real aggressive now and start just going kind of full aggro. Let's see. Yeah, we'll go like this. More flying units to get over those walls. That's going to be helpful. All right, let's do it. Try and grab another one of Sidrin's cities. Be kind of cool if we could maybe Ghoul Curse that Umbral Weaver Charioteer. That wouldn't be so bad. Be fun to have one, I think. Especially as a support unit, they would get Heal Undead, which is always very useful. Okay, this Apparition. You know, the only unfortunate thing... So, the Apparition doesn't have Lifesteal, which actually really kind of hinders them, in my opinion. they're still really good, but I much prefer the Wraith and in particular the Wraith King, which I haven't actually gotten any of this particular playthrough. But the Wraith King is I've talked about them a number of times in my playthroughs when I'm playing Necromancer, but they are absolutely my favorite unit, hands down, no question. Because they're a support unit that can heal, and they have floating so they can get over walls, and they're actually really good in melee combat despite being a support unit, because they have that physical protection from being sort of an incorporeal unit or whatever. Like here, let's take a look. Yeah, physical protection, there it is, because they're incorporeal. And then, of course, they have the blight protection, they have frost protection, and then usually if they're with a Necromancer, they'll have the fire and spirit protection, so I don't have to worry too much. So, yeah, they're extremely powerful. But that apparition is still good, don't get me wrong. It's just, because it doesn't get the benefit of lifesteal, and in addition, it doesn't have the ability to heal because it's a monster and not a support unit, it is actually kind of limited, which is a little bit of a shame. We'll do this. Very nice. Our Sphinx here, we can send one in like this. Kill off the lightning sprite, because why the heck not? And then we'll get our Sphinxes in there just to cause trouble. Meanwhile, oh yeah, look at this. Bone Dragon can go in there, do some blasting. Very nice. Get our Wraith over. Ramhotep. Our Manticore Rider did take some damage, so it wouldn't be so bad to maybe get in there. Yeah, let's kill off the Archer at least. There we go. Apparition can kind of do the same thing. Just advance in. And we'll get Ramhotep in there. We don't want to get him too far in there, but we certainly want to. Let's do a little Despair, maybe. Oh, resisted, okay. I was hoping that would make my Ghoul Curse attempt a little bit more successful. Okay. And now we can jump in here, Shadow Step in behind, try for the Ghoul Curse, low odds. Yeah, okay, immune. That's kind of what I figured was going to happen. Not entirely surprising. We can do a Wing Beat there. And then let's step in. Nice, there's the kill from our Wraith. And then jump in behind here, the Storm Priest, do some big damage. Same story from the Apparition. Big damage. Move over like this, blast the Infused, free up Bone Dragon. And then just kind of move my Sphinxes over. I mean, this battle's all done but the crying, really. Okay. So we might as well heal up Ramhotep. And then let's try for an instant death. And a level up. That's kind of funny. Nice, and our Wraith is now Champion 1, so that's pretty good. Can't argue with that. Yeah, let's keep migrating everything over to Ghoul Tigrans. Now, there is another city over here, and I wouldn't be surprised if maybe this is the throne. So that's probably where we're going to want to go next. Actually, you know what? Here we go. Yeah, this is looking promising. There it is. Okay. We now know where the throne city is, and it is actually pretty well defended with units here. Mind you, there's a lot of, you know, kind of mishmash of different calibers of unit, as you would say. Ooh, but we do have a Horned God and a hero, a Necromancer hero, that are guarding the city. So, not to mention that by the time we get over there, I'm sure that Sidrin will be back from the Void. So, that'll make for a pretty epic battle, I think, maybe next episode. Alright, so Ramhotep is now level 13. So yeah, he's pretty much got all the upgrades I would really want for the most part. I mean, getting Inflict Curse wouldn't be bad. Exploit Despair is pretty good in combination with Despair that we already have. Inflict Despair. Upgrading just his like health and defense wouldn't be terrible. I think I'm going to grab Inflict Curse and then maybe some extra hit points and a little bit more defense. And just making him beefier. Generally quite helpful, especially now that we're using him more aggressively because he has Undying. All right, now these units here, I think we're going to want to move over and start trying to get in closer to the Throne City now that we know where that is. Okay, yeah, we'll just kind of go wholesale. Now, the zombies do seem to have reduced movement, which I guess kind of makes sense, given that they are shambling zombies. All right. And yeah, this scout has done its thing. Right, that pretty much takes care of the Shadow Realm, so let's go back above ground here. Do a little bit more zipping around. And we do know that this is the Throne City here. And it is guarded by a Dreadnought hero with a Node Serpent and a Flyer, so we are going to need some decent units down there. Speaking of decent units, here comes Jafsar. Ooh, and there is a Draconian Infernal we're going to have to deal with. Oh, and look at that. Karashar was hiding in the stack. Okay, well, we know Karashar's there, so you know what? We can form up a second stack there just to protect our hero a little bit. All right, excellent. Now, meanwhile, these units can probably all start heading down there as well. Yeah, we're just going to start sending just send the whole farm. There we go. And we'll leave Lost Soul there just to camp on the city. Not that we really need it, but... Alright. So yeah, we're bringing the heat down on Karashar, and we're bringing the heat on Sidrin. So, as you can see, we've got quite an army that's descending upon the throne. And it's going to be great because Karashar himself is guarding his throne city, and pretty soon I believe Sidrin's going to be guarding his throne city. So I think this will make for a really climactic end to what has been a very, very fun series, at least on my end. I hope you guys have been enjoying it too. But again, I think we've got maybe one more episode left in this one for a nice, again, climactic finish. I think this is probably a good spot to leave it. So let's zoom out and just take a look at what we've got left. So, I haven't really... I did a bad job. I said I was going to, focus this playthrough on, founding cities because that was something I didn't do much of. But, as it went, I really didn't need to. Although, maybe if I had, that would have improved some of my gold income and my economic problems. But, all in all, so far it has been really, really good. And, I mean, you can't argue with the outcome as well. I've kind of snowballed quite effectively. And underground, I managed to, take a good foothold once I was able to eliminate both of my underground opponents. And then, obviously, the Shadow Realm we got to later in the series, but as you can see now, we've got a good idea of where our opponent's throne is. Or we know where our opponent's throne is, so we're all going to descend on it. Just one more look at that real quick. So, you can see here we've got Ramhotep, and then we've got this kind of miscellaneous floating unit stack. And then we've got all these other units that are all descending. And then now we've got our 3 Tigran Sphinxes as well. So lots of options there to engage this battle. I think this is going to be a pretty tough one because you can see it's quite well defended. So we're going to have our work cut out for us, that's for sure. But in any case, we're going to save this one right here. Call this episode 16. And as always, guys, thank you very much for watching. I really do appreciate it, and I will see you in the next one.